Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the latest episode of Real Take Real Estate with the Joseph Team, where we give you our real take on today's housing market and everything to do with real estate. I'm your host, Maddie Maloney, joined by my co-host,
Joe Sandbear.
And today we are so excited to have a special guest joining us today, McKensie Gentry. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
And we are so excited to have you on. So a little bit about McKensie. McKensie is a licensed real estate agent with the Sandi Gentry Team, bringing over 10 years of experience and a strong background in marketing and design. She has built a successful career helping both buyers and sellers navigate the West Michigan market with confidence, creativity, and care. As part of the Sandi Gentry Team, recognized as the #1 RE/MAX team in Michigan for over a decade, McKensie combines proven expertise with a personalized approach that puts relationships first. She's also the host of Keys to the Coast, a podcast that highlights the people, places, and properties that make the coast home. Known for her upbeat personality, attention to detail, and get-it-handled mindset, McKensie is passionate about helping her clients turn their real estate goals into reality. So McKensie, welcome. We are so excited to have you on today, not only to hear about your real estate journey and your career, but also to highlight one of the amazing features of Michigan. And that's something that we really haven't been able to do on the podcast recently. Most of our topics that we've covered, we cover the financing, we cover what it looks like for a first-time home buyer, what the closing is, appraisal, inspection, but we really have not been able to dive into our home state, where we're based, and the beautiful features of Michigan. And you have the luxury of being able to live in one of the most beautiful areas. So we're so excited not to only hear your expertise, but to hear about West Michigan as well. So we are diving into the Lakeshore. And so we are so excited. So before we dive into the Lakeshore living and everything that comes with living on the coast, tell us a little bit more about yourself and how you ended up in real estate.
Yeah, so I'm born and raised here in Grand Haven. I was born at the local hospital. It's quite small. I don't even think they do that anymore, but I pretty much always lived within this little pocket of the downtown Grand Haven area. I do live in Spring Lake now, but that's kind of the beauty of this little West Michigan is a lot of these towns are so close together, so you get the best of each world. So I'm born and raised and immersed here in West Michigan. My mom, Sandi, is a very established realtor. She's been doing it before I was born, so I always joke that I was at more closings by the time I was 2 than most real estate agents.
Which is probably very true.
Yes, she took me along for everything. It was a very different real estate world back then. So a lot of, door knocking. We didn't have an online MLS, or they didn't. I was not in it yet, obviously, but they didn't have the online MLS system. So they had the big books. I remember she would carry around with all the listings that they'd have to go through every day. So it was really fun to grow up and see how real estate has evolved. But how I got into it is obviously I followed her around. I've always had a passion for home and design. That's really what I thought I wanted to go into first was interior design. My senior year of high school, I interned for an amazing builder here in West Michigan and really thought that's where my passion was. And like most teenagers, didn't want to do what my mom was doing, wanted to do my own thing.
Absolutely.
And
had to have your own path.
Exactly. And then as I, was going through college and all that, I realized, okay, I know it's real estate that I love, but it's nice because design goes so hand in hand. And, I can help some clients see a vision that can be hard to see and help redesign a space. So it's been really great to be able to have both of those passions in marketing. So when I was a senior in high school, I actually had my own photography business. And then after I graduated and my mom's like, hey, we need some help. Can you just help in the summer, which then turned into me doing that almost every summer. And then it turned into, we really want to grow our marketing. So can you come and help? When social media was first starting, she didn't have a Facebook or any of that, which that was so my generation of knowing all of that inside and out. So she's like, can you come and help do that? Which then kind of just turned into me being there every day, which turned into, hey, do you want an actual spot here? And, when it's your family's company, you love and appreciate it and want it to succeed, just as much as she did. So that kind of just kept snowballing into me getting a more serious role. And then I was running my photography business out of an office here and would just overhear and quick pick up a phone if it was ringing, which turned into me being an admin. And then I did start doing that full time around 2012, 2013, and taking over the marketing. So I was kind of doing all the background behind the scenes things for Sandi without being licensed. And then it was always the goal to become an agent, but we were just always so busy. There was no way I could take a week off to go take my class. And so COVID hit. So it was kind of the perfect time where we all got to slow down. I took it online, and then got my license, and I've been a licensed agent since I think 5 years now, 2000. Oh my goodness. I don't even know. I think 5 years now I've been a licensed agent. So
that's
just hit the ground running. And I've been so blessed to be a part of an incredible team, and have some amazing mentors, including my mom.
And you're established in your own right. And I've had a personal experience with McKensie. She's an incredible agent, and just the energy you bring and the welcoming you are and your whole team is to anyone coming to West Michigan. I know a lot of people come not from that area. They're looking for their second homes. They're out of state. And you guys are so welcoming, bring so much energy, local energy, to such a great spot in Michigan. So we're so happy to have you.
Thank you. So it's easy when you live in such a beautiful area.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And we'll get into a little bit more of, the beauty of West Michigan. But one thing that I did want to ask, so you have this great, kind of beginning career with design and, social media. How do you think that experience and starting off with that helps you to be a better realtor today and to help serve your clients?
I think the design part is really nice. I kind of touched on this earlier, but a lot of homes, have a lot of potential, but it's hard to see.
Yes.
You walk into a lakefront home or a cottage that I walk in and I'm like, oh my goodness, I see the potential, but not a lot of people can do that or have that. So
it is
it's really
a talent
nice to be
for
able.
sure.
Yeah, I know. I'm blessed to have the creative brain. So it's been really fun. I have a lot of investor clients and a lot of clients who have, Airbnbs or rentals. So it's really fun to be, hey, we can do a cool little rock climbing wall here for the kids for Airbnb, which would draw a lot of families and, that sort of thing. So it really does go hand in hand, like I mentioned earlier. So that's fun. And obviously marketing, listing your home, you want to get the most exposure as possible. So
definitely.
The marketing is really important.
I think you guys have definitely done a fantastic job lately, and I'm not sure if you're the one behind the scenes of the most recent reels of the Sandi Gentry team, but I love the short clips and the videos, and I was listening to some of the podcast episodes that you guys did, and there was mention of car karaoke and some videos there. I think I need to go back and look up some of those. But it is just so fun to, take those other aspects. And it's probably stuff that your mom wouldn't have done, that Sandi wouldn't have done and by herself. So maybe you helping her get out of her shell maybe a little bit. Maybe, I don't know if she was a little hesitant to do some of those things, but now she's all over social media as well and just has so many awesome videos all the time. And so I feel like you really had a big impact in that.
Yeah, I definitely got a little pushback, especially when social media wasn't quite in the business world yet. It was more just for fun. I know I pitched that idea to Sandi and Kelly, who's one of our seasoned agents and are now our office manager. And they're like, you want us to do what? And I'm like, be funny, just trust me. And it went viral, so I know, and Sandi's so open. That's what's so nice. Obviously, she has such a tried and true way of doing things where I kind of came in and shook things up a little bit. But in an ever-changing digital world, you have to be adaptable. And that's what's so awesome about everybody here is they they're open to my ideas. And yeah, we do have an amazing marketing team now where I don't do nearly as much as I used to. We have an amazing social media girl and a marketing assistant. So they're great.
Awesome. Well, so going into a little bit more about your team has a reputation for being top producers. So what do you think sets your team apart? Besides, of course, being a very family-driven team, what else, Sandi's been doing this for so long, you've been brought in. What makes your team so different and that so many people are drawn to you and wants to work with you, and that you have those repeat buyers that continue to just advocate of how valuable your services are?
I think something Sandi has been incredible about instilling into me and all my sisters and into our team is it's about the relationships. It's not about the transactions. It's such an emotional decision to buy or sell. It's your biggest asset. It's your biggest investment, and treating that like it's my home, and especially first time home buyers, we love working with them because it's so exciting, but scary. So really just focusing on how can I best take care of this person and walk through every single step. As you guys know, there's a lot of things that can come up during a transaction that can go wrong.
Absolutely.
So the beauty of being on a team, I think, is it's one of my pitches is I say, you're not just working with me, but you get 6 agents that are on your side and advocating for you and working for you in brainstorming. We have Monday meetings where we talk about our upcoming listings and who our buyer is, and how if we have a buyer we can't find something, we all collaborate and talk about how we can best serve them. So we definitely do things different than other teams, but I'm so thankful to have so many of the gifts and talents that we all bring to the table. And we really just focus on taking care of that client how we would want to be taken care of. And I think God blesses that. And, if you take good care of people, then they refer and your business will grow.
Absolutely. What a power team and such a resource for a buyer to have a team of people, seasoned people that know the market so well, focusing on them. That's so unique, really.
And I think that we can definitely speak to the team aspect as well of how important it is. I think especially now as well that it's kind of hard to just do it as a single individual, because you want to be able to provide your buyers, sellers, your customers, your borrowers with the best service. And sometimes that is having people behind you for when maybe you can't get to that showing, or maybe I have something going on and I can't get to, providing that scenario right now, but Joe can hop on it, or you can have your team hop on it. And it makes such a big difference having that team and having that support, but also not just having the team, but having the well-oiled team that seems like that you have as well, that everyone has their roles, but everyone also has their strengths, and when to rely on people and what strength that they have. I think that was one thing that you mentioned, in your podcast, you have Kelly that seems like everyone goes to him, and he is just, the one that if you don't have a deal or you can't figure out something, he's the go-to person. I feel like you're the one for creativity, what can we do here for design aspect? It's just so awesome to have a team with so many strong strengths and everyone bringing those to the table and just making it the best team possible. And that's what you guys have done, which really sets you apart.
Right. And just the collaborative, where everybody's personalities are different, and maybe a buyer may not vibe with one of us, where I can be like, Kelly is more seasoned at the up north market, so he knows it like the back of his hand. So we all have the same goal where, it's not like I just need to succeed, but I want everybody to, because if we all succeed, the team succeeds. So we just all have that same servant's heart, which I'm so lucky to be surrounded by so many incredible people.
Absolutely. All right, so let's get into a little bit of Lakeshore living. So I have found that some people outside of Michigan, and, I just had a brother and sister-in-law move to Nashville, and they would talk to their friends down there because they went to Hope College. So they always were over in West Michigan, just loving the area, and they would talk about the Great Lakes and how beautiful they were, and they would get this reaction of, yeah, it's a lake. It's, it's nothing too crazy about it. And it's just like, no, you don't understand how beautiful a Michigan sunset, sunrise is over on the lakes. And some people just don't understand the lakeside living, and it's not, the coast living. I think, when people may hear the keys to the coast, they think, okay, are you on the east side, west side coast of, the states? Where are you at? No, we're in Michigan. We're talking about lakeside coast. Oh, coast. So can you talk a little bit about the benefits and just a little bit about Lakeshore living in Michigan and why it's so unique?
Yes. I mean, we are so lucky. It's so true what you were saying. The people from Tennessee don't understand. And I had that same experience. I went to college in Virginia, and I've been so blessed to grow up within 2 minutes of the lake my whole life. So going to Virginia, where it was an hour drive, I called my mom and I'm like, I got to get out of here. There's no water. And I would show people, they'd ask, you get to know your friends in college and where are you from? And I'd show them and they're like, that's an ocean. I'm like, it's like Michigan.
Yes.
And we are such a hidden gem. It's so crazy. Even being in this social media world, I still feel like we're so hidden, almost is the word, where people don't understand that we have a freshwater ocean, but there's no sharks or anything, scary. So it's incredible. The sunsets, the atmosphere. And I think my favorite part of living around here is the community. Everybody is so friendly and inviting, and we have such an amazing downtown area and vibe of local businesses and mom and pop shops that truly just want each other to succeed, and we're always rooting for each other. The sense of community in these lake town homes, Muskegon, Grand Haven, in Holland, there's nowhere else like it.
It's so unusual, and you can see it when you have just a small Memorial Day parade, something so common in most cities, and you just see people coming from everywhere, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. What a community.
Just how it brings everyone together.
Yes. I mean, Grand Haven specific, because that's where we're located, is Coast Guard City, USA.
Oh, yes.
And we have a local Coast Guard, which the locals are like, it's the best and worst week of the summer because it's so busy. But we have hundreds and thousands of people that show up for that and to celebrate our Coast Guard, which we have a very heavy hand in the Coast Guard Festival, which it's the best time of the year for us. But yeah, it's amazing, the sense of community.
So that kind of leads us into the next question then. So what does set Grand Haven apart from other lakeshore areas in Michigan? So we do have, it's not just Grand Haven area. There's lots of different areas. There's Traverse City. There's other areas in Michigan. What would you say sets Grand Haven in West Michigan apart from some of the other lakeshore communities?
Yes, I definitely think the Coast Guard. We have the Coast Guard buildings here. We have the ships here, which is so unique because not a lot of people get to see these incredible ships and what that branch of the military is all about. So it's really cool to see that. They do their trainings in Lake Michigan. So you'll be at the beach and you get to see them drop down in the helicopters, which is so unique and cool.
You definitely don't see that in other areas.
Yeah, it's really, really great. And I love how Grand Haven, and this is what I tell a lot of buyers who are looking for there's a lot of different lakeshore and lakeside communities. And when I advocate for Grand Haven, I always say that you still have that small town charm where there is, the coffee shop, a barista, and where you can get the best Sunday dress outfit, or, the local spots in the community, but you still have such a great, I'm trying to think of what I want to say here, such a great sense of having a lot of amenities too. Yes. So you still have that small town charm and the uniqueness, but you still have Grand Rapids only 30 minutes away. You can hop into Holland, you can hop into Muskegon and do more of the in-lake things. We're so centrally located.
Absolutely.
It's pretty amazing also to have a riverfront and a beach in your city. I mean, that is really quite unusual.
It's just kind of like picking the best parts of everywhere that you could be. And where would it be? Grand Haven, if you could just put everything together. So it really is just such a beautiful area. So how has demand changed in Grand Haven and nearby areas over the past few years when it comes to home buying?
That's a great question. I would say it's pretty steady. even from when I was young to now. There was an article, I think it was 5 or 6 years ago, where it was, what are the best beaches? And Grand Haven was number 1 or number 2. And all of us locals were like, no, like, don't let out the secret. But us as real estate agents were like, yes, like, come see how amazing it is. Yeah. But I would say it's really steady. I mean, obviously it is constantly growing. People seeing our community and how amazing it is. There's always going to be a lot of interest, but I'd say it's been pretty steady.
And the change from work from home, McKensie, that probably has changed the demand a little bit.
Yeah. Well, especially during COVID, I would say when a lot of people were moving out of those bigger cities, we saw an influx of people. Obviously, if you can work from home, what better to be a block away from the beach?
Absolutely.
So we definitely did see some growth there.
Yeah.
So that kind of, with the next question of, with that demand in the area and in Grand Haven, sometimes when people think of, lakeside, near the lake, on the coast, they think of, all right, these are going to be some high priced homes. I can never probably afford some of that. Would you say that then, I'm assuming you do have a lot of people that have their second home or maybe have their, forever home after retirement, but would you have first time home buyers? Do you have people in all different price points still looking in Grand Haven, and what opportunities are there?
Yeah, I mean, that's what's beautiful about West Michigan. Obviously, if you're going to be directly on the lake, those are going to attract some higher price points, but you can still be, 5 to 10 minutes away from the beach and be in the 200 range. And obviously, the closer you get, they can go a little bit higher, but it is not unattainable whatsoever. I have some amazing first-time homebuyer clients that we just closed on their house 2 weeks ago, and they are within a 2-minute drive, and it was under $300,000. So it's definitely not unattainable at all. It's just finding the right areas and looking in, what you can afford.
Absolutely. So with that, that would probably surprise some people, like, oh my gosh, I can be a first-time home buyer and live so close to the lake in an amazing community. So that would probably be a surprise, I would think, to maybe some of our listeners. But then also, what's one other surprise that some people find when buying near the lake? If you have some people that are coming from out of state, maybe out of the area, is there anything that comes up when they're like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't have thought of that when living near a lake or buying near the lake?
I think a lot of people are surprised by some of the prices. Like I was just saying, we have some amazing inland lakes like Spring Lake, where there's some great little cottage communities where, like I was mentioning, my first-time home buyers found an amazing first-time home that is in a lower price point. And I think the inland lakes too, obviously Lake Michigan is such a draw, but the inland lakes are so beautiful. And I think that can be surprising where people think they want to be by Lake Michigan, but they appreciate the beauty and stillness of the inland lakes. And it's nice because Spring Lake still opens up to the Grand River and then goes out to Lake Michigan. So a lot of people don't understand, even if you're on the inland lakes, you still can access Lake Michigan as well.
Which is a huge benefit. And I think that some people, I think some people think, okay, Lake Michigan, we can have our boat out there. All right, sometimes with the bigger lake might be a little bit rough out there. Maybe
what we're out there.
Yeah, maybe what we're looking for is to be in the inland lake, be closer if we're looking for some of those boating activities. And so it's really just finding out, all right, what parts of the lake are we excited about? What really are your goals with living near the lake? What activities are you really looking to do around here? And that's just another thing that I love about West Michigan is there's so many ways to stay active and so many activities to be a part of. I remember calling my brother who went to Hope and lived in Holland and, hey, what are you doing? Oh, we're going to the lake. We're going to go downtown. We're going to go do this. And I'm just, oh, wow. All right. That's awesome. And here I am. I went to college that was surrounded by cornfields. And so just going to West Michigan and living over there, there's just so much opportunity and just an amazing lifestyle to have.
And if you want to see something special on a Friday night in the summer and you want to see boats in Michigan on the river in downtown Grand Haven, it's quite a show of what you'll see. It's the amount of boats coming in and out of the lake. It's unbelievable, actually.
Yeah, and the range of boats, and Holland too, but you'll see the cute little fishing boats and then upwards of 70, 80,000 or 70, 80 foot boats as well too. So it's great people watching
it
also.
It's a fun city.
Very fun. So how does living so close to Lake Michigan influence the style of homes, design trends, or even how people use their spaces?
Yes, I would definitely say most of the homes along the Lakeshore are going to be set up for entertaining. Very entertaining style, very open floor plans. We see a lot of outdoor living spaces. Obviously, we can only use those certain seasons, but we see a lot of that, especially with the remodels and newer construction. Very open floor plan, very entertaining, large kitchens, large islands. We're seeing a lot of that entertainer's dream.
Absolutely. And I think that just does kind of go into the lifestyle of lake living, is that it's an active lifestyle, I would say. And so you're constantly doing things. You're constantly wanting people to come over and hang out and just being active. And I just love that about the area. So what advice do you give to buyers who dream about owning a lakefront property but might feel that it's a little bit out of reach?
Don't be afraid to just take the baby steps. A lot of people, obviously, the higher price points, that can be harder to afford those things, but don't be afraid to get the cottage 10 minutes away, and work your way up. And it's still, you don't need to be on the lake to feel that lakeshore lifestyle.
Absolutely. And so from a realtor's perspective, what do you see as the biggest opportunities in the lakeshore market right now?
I think some of the up and coming areas too are really important. There's some local communities that maybe are a little bit further out from the lakeshore, but still have amazing school districts and amazing communities. So not being, so focused on being directly on the lake, but taking advantage of some of these other areas and communities that we have just outside of the lakeshore. And I think I touched on this earlier, but that's such the beauty of this area is you're, 15 minutes out, you're still so close to the lake and you can enjoy that lakeshore lifestyle. You don't have to be directly on the water to feel that sense of community and that lifestyle.
And so, Joe, you know the benefits of West Michigan. You've invested over there. And so why did you end up going over to West Michigan? What benefits did you see?
It was funny. We found Grand Haven, kind of stumbled into it, just going to a music festival, and had rented one of those Airbnbs. And we were like, oh, my gosh, we have to be here. This is a place we have to be. And we've been in Grand Haven for quite a while now. And it's a special place. I mean, I've been all over the country. I've have investment in Florida, and it's a really unique place. So
it is, and not being afraid to just do it. They have cracked down on Airbnbs, I will say, but getting something even on the east side of the highway and being able to just do it, jump in, invest in the real estate, and I just feel like these lakeside towns are just always going to be sought after.
So McKensie, how do people typically come to hearing about West Michigan? Is it because they've always wanted to live on the lakeside? Do they come for, new jobs in the area? What draws people to West Michigan with the clients that you typically work with?
I think, like Joe said, a lot of people just stumble upon it. I think people love the sense of community, the lakeshore, the people are amazing. There's so many things that I could say about that. And I know I'm biased because I'm born and raised. But there's a lot of things. We do have a lot of amazing newer developments. There's a lot going on in the community with growth of jobs and housing. And I'm really excited for the future of it here.
It seems like one of those areas that when you've had time to experience living there, vacationing there, going to see family or something, it draws you back. It makes you want to stay there. It makes you want to live there. I've talked to my brother about, all right, so are you guys going to come move back to Michigan at some point? Yeah, probably. And we'll probably end up in West Michigan because that's where we went to school. But we absolutely loved it over there. And he's always active. So they just love just the amount of, activities that they're able to do. And it's
I think that's what's surprising to some people. McKensie, you might have touched on it, is it's not just a summer beach town. It really isn't. It's a real city. And it's surprising when you go into fall and you walk down the main street and everyone has their fall decorations and skeletons. And then you go into to Christmas and they have a great New Year's Eve party downtown, and it just never ends. It's all year round. It's very active, and a lot of the Lakeshore communities are like that. It's not just Grand Haven, but it's very common. I think that's
a great
surprising
thing to touch on. Yep. A lot of people think because we're in Michigan or a lot of people that I say aren't from Michigan, a lot of our Chicago transplant or Florida transplants, they think it's the winters are too harsh. And someone compared it to Gilmore Girls town. I'm trying to remember what it's, but someone's like, it reminds me of that. I was like, that's a really good comparison.
That is. A good one.
But no, and something to say even in the winter, and something that draws people here is I had the most magical childhood here. And I couldn't imagine living anywhere else, having my daughter grow up anywhere else than here. In the winter, we have Mulligan's Hollow, which I think is such an amazing gem here in Grand Haven, because we're built on the dunes, and they made a ski and snowboard hill out of the dunes. Cool. And my daughter lives there in the wintertime, and you just know it's safe. There's amazing instructors there. All the kids go on snow days. It's just incredible. So I'd say something that draws people here is just the family atmosphere too, and the safety.
So I know that you have said many things that you love about the Grand Haven community. If you could touch on one thing that you love that maybe we haven't been able to talk about just yet, is there one thing?
I think I already have, but it's definitely my number one. So I'm going to go back to it. It's just the sense of community.
It's just so hard to beat that you have to bring it up.
It is. It really is. And I've lived in Florida. I've lived in Virginia. And like I said, I mean, I thought I would stay in Florida, to be honest. We have family there. That's where I thought, but I couldn't imagine raising a family anywhere else than here. And just knowing I can send her down the road to grab a coffee, and I know who's going to meet her there. And it's just the most amazing community.
And if you're ever downtown Grand Haven, you have to check out Sandi's office, McKensie's office. It's a beautiful office. It really sets itself off. And we walked in there, Maddie and I, and we've been in hundreds of offices, real estate offices, and all over the country. And we're like, oh my gosh, this place is beautiful. So it's definitely worth stopping in and saying hi. And if you ever you'll see McKensie running around town. I can assure you, with her coffee and getting in her Jeep and just running to appointments. So it's kind of
the Jeep Wrangler is a staple.
Absolutely. All right. So as we wrap up here, final advice for someone thinking about making a move to the Lakeshore and how you would advise them?
Call me.
Call her. All right. So how is the best way to get a hold of the Sandi Gentry team and McKensie, and what is the best way to be able to work with you?
Yeah, we have a very strong online presence. So our website, sandigentry.com, there's links to all of our personal lines there. So it's really easy to get a hold of us. I'd say the website's the best way.
Awesome.
And we're very strong on social media too. So
everywhere. I love the videos all the time popping up. So if you don't follow the Sandi Gentry team, even if you're not really sure about moving to West Michigan, you should follow them because they have some great content out there and it's so fun to watch.
And we will have anyone looking can contact us. We'll get you connected with McKensie, and
absolutely,
she'll do a great job for you.
So McKensie, thank you so much today for talking about your career and also showing some of the amazing features that we have living in Michigan, and that's living on the Lakeshore and everything amazing to offer with Grand Haven. So we are so happy that we were able to talk with you today. We hope to see you again soon, but thank you again to all of our listeners who are tuning in today. If you like this episode, please subscribe, send us a comment, let us know what else you would like to hear about, and we will catch you next time on Real Take Real Estate with the Joseph team. Thank you so much.